Welcome to the Casual Shooters Podcast, your premier podcast for the casual shooter. And I'm your host, David Riddle. It's always nice to have a guest that you can talk to. Those monologues kill me because just talking to a microphone is kind of odd to me. So today we have a guest from the Great White North, East. Now, she's been on before, but not by herself. She was on with her 5'17" husband, who's quite well known, and just abandoned her for the week. But she's proven herself and has her own accolades. So today she gets the spotlight all to herself. If you would join me in welcoming to the show, Mrs. Kaylee. How you doing, Kay?
Good, how are you?
I'm well. If you would take a moment and introduce yourself.
My name is Kaylee. I guess, what do you want me to cover? I've been shooting for 8 years. I'm
Okay.
from New Hampshire. That's about it. I don't know. What do you want?
Okay. Oh, no, that's good. You just confirmed one of the very first question after we get through the hard ones is going to be, are you actually, I know you live in New Hampshire, but I didn't know if you were from New Hampshire. So we'll get into that in a minute.
All right. Perfect.
All right. First hard question. If you could learn one shooting skill instantly, think of like Neo in the Matrix where they plug him in and then they download all the stuff that he could do. What would that one skill be?
I'd want to be able to shoot as fast as anyone. I think that would be my just rapid speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's probably a lame answer, but
Oh, no. We'll get there in a minute. I like where you're going because
okay, cool.
the next question is going to be very interesting then. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh. I don't know. Probably to fly. I feel like again, basic answer, but I feel like flying would be very convenient, or like teleporting, because I hate. I mean, I'm not like afraid of being on a plane, but I hate the time waste of being on a plane and like traveling around. So if I could just be like, okay, I'm over there, that would be pretty sick.
No one has said that yet, but that's a great one. Now, I initially said flying too. I said shooting accurately on the move at any speed.
That's pretty solid too. That would be really good.
So
Similar.
So initially my superpower was going to be fly because everybody wants to fly.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but instead I chose be as fast as the Flash. So now I could move as fast as the Flash and be accurate while shooting.
That'd be pretty speedy.
Pretty much, I could eat Eric Graffel's lunch.
100%. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Eat him instantly.
I would laugh at him because there's no other way I'm laughing at him.
The new goat.
Yes, forever. At any age, doesn't matter.
No, that's a good one.
Okay. Now, see, what you can do, you can test Mason when he gets back because you can ask him these questions about you and say, what were my answers?
That's true. He would have no clue, I don't think. You're like, okay. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. What is one food you'll never get tired of?
Can I say like a branch of food? Or is it got to be like one? Okay.
No, it can be a type.
I'm going to go Mexican food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, one, like margarita is always nice to have, but also, I mean, there's like, it's just like, I would also say Greek food, but obviously if I got to choose one, I think I'd go Mexican food just because there's so much different stuff. It's always very flavorful, super good. I love Mexican food.
Okay, so I got to ask you then. I can I love Mex. I'm originally from Texas, so I
Okay.
love Tex-Mex, which is Mexican food with a twist.
Yep.
But I have never been able to eat tamales. I think they're mushy and greasy.
Yeah,
Thoughts
I'm not
on
into tamales now. I
okay.
okay. I'm into I wouldn't say I'm into New Hampshire Mexican food because I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I'm just getting a taco or whatever. But I I don't know if I would be as into it if I went to Mexico, but I like American Mexican food. That would be my answer.
Okay. And we have a few Mexican restaurants around us here that are what I would consider quite authentic, and the
Yeah,
food is fantastic.
it's
So
so
we
good.
it's like our go-to.
It's so good. Well, that's what I love about it. It's like, and the food comes out so quick. It's just so
Yes.
good. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And yeah, Mexican food is amazing. That's good. Greek food is so close though. That would be a close second, just because I like the very like clean ingredients. That's also
Yes. Super healthy too.
yeah, 100%. I think
Yeah.
Mexican food's not too bad either, as long as you're sticking to like the basics, not like a pile of tortilla
Yeah,
chips and stuff.
but that's the problem. They bring the tortilla chips and the endless salsa, and next thing you know, it's like I need
Yeah,
another bucket of
and a
chips.
and a bowl of guac like this big. Like, oh,
Oh.
it's like okay, that's like 3,000 calories right there, but I'm gonna eat it all.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Now this one you have to exclude Mason or any other family members.
Okay,
If you could have dinner with one person from any period of history, who would that person be?
man, I don't know. Hmm.
Is there a place or time period that you would visit?
See, I'm not really a history buff, if I'm honest. History
You've
was
been to
never my.
Greece.
I have been to Greece. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I know what they were up to though. That's
Oh, that is
uh,
funny.
um hmm. Man, this one's a struggle.
I told you, makes the hard drive spin.
Yeah, that's I don't know. This is a rough one. I mean, I feel like I'd probably just choose someone from our see, this is like the kind of question I'm going to think about later and be like, why didn't I say that person or why didn't I say that person?
Of course.
Um,
That always happens to me when I'm in the shower. That's like seems to be
yeah,
my best place when I'm thinking.
100%.
That's where things pop up in my head. I'm like, oh, even from like 30 years ago, a memory will pop up in my head. And I'm like, where did that come
Yeah.
from?
Yeah, very quiet thinking time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably just say like a famous person right now, like because I'm just in this way. I'm very basic. I'd just choose like someone that I think is really cool, like a Julian Edelman or something like that. Like that'd be. I don't think I'd get that much out of. I, I don't know. I'm rambling now. I don't know. I'm just gonna
Okay.
say a current famous person that I actually think is cool.
Julian Edelman. You must be a New England Patriots fan.
Of course, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, we're almost to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, but I don't think he's playing.
No, he's not. He's not, sadly.
He's definitely not.
No, he's not. But Drake May is.
He
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And I will say that their path just got easier with Bo Nix out.
Yes. Yeah. The broken ankle there is gonna that's gonna
It's
I
got,
would like to think it would make it relatively easy for us to get there.
yeah, I think I saw something where his starting record is 1-3. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's still an NFL quarterback, so he's not bad. But, when you have that few starting opportunities and you have one of the better defenses that
Yeah.
you're playing against, I don't care that you're playing at home. Because now New England can focus on the run and the pass second and really apply a lot of pressure. So it's going to
Yeah.
be rough. Now, I will say their third string quarterback, though, I'm a University of Texas fan, being from
Okay.
Texas. Sam Ehlinger is their third string quarterback, now second string, former UT quarterback who did well at the college level. So, well,
Okay.
yeah, if he gets a
Maybe.
little playing time, the dude's got speed and arm, so there is an opportunity. But look, I I definitely have New England favored by at least a touchdown in this game.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we're making it to the bowl. It's just how we do at the bowl. We'll see. We'll see.
I think this is Seattle's year.
I
They
are the Patriots are finally doing good again, but I
mhm.
don't know if we're quite a Super Bowl team again yet. So I don't know, but I gotta. New England's pretty happy right now. I gotta say, we were
Oh,
kind of on a
sure.
slump for a while. We're used to winning like something
R-
like every
right.
6 months, and not winning for a little while was rough on people. So we're getting happy again.
Okay. All right. If money were no object, what would you be doing right now?
Hmm. Honestly, traveling. I really enjoy traveling, so I'd be all over the place, just doing stuff. I'd be shooting, obviously, like doing fun stuff, but the big thing would be being able to travel more.
Okay. To the warmer weather in the wintertime for
So,
sure.
yes, yeah, definitely. I always say like when we'll go to like Puerto Rico, and it's like, oh yeah, I could have a winter home here, where the weather's always nice. And I actually I don't mind the snow. It's just like this winter has been brutal. It has been properly cold since mid early mid November.
Mhm.
So we have been a little bit cooped up, which is not very fun. Versus, when you're getting your random 40-degree days, it's really not too bad. But
Right.
when you're stuck at like high of 20, high of 15, high of 15, high of 20, it's not very fun.
Well, you guys are about to get pummeled because
Perfect.
I say that because I live at an hour south of DC,
Yeah.
and I follow weather all the time because I love cold weather. I love snow, but starting this coming Saturday, high of 25, high of 20, high of
Yeah.
22, high of 27. So if that's how cold it is here, and I've been watching all of these YouTube meteorologists, they're real meteorologists, but they're putting stuff out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, man, the cold that's about to come in at the end of the week is going to be bitter for you guys.
Yes. I think I saw this weekend, I was just looking at the weather, and it's a high of, I think, 10 and 12 on Saturday and Sunday. It's not going to be very fun.
Right, which means the low is going to be like -5,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
-10.
yeah. The overnight will be really rough. See,
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the positive here, Dave. The high number.
Well, and I know they're already forecasting 6+ inches of snow down here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what the path of the snow is going to be for the Northeast, but if we're getting snow and it's cold, you guys are getting more snow and more cold. So
100%. Yeah. The snow's not a big deal. I don't mind the snow. It's the cold that just sucks.
right.
Yeah.
It does make things difficult.
It does, yeah. And eventually there's some task you need to do outside. Like I work outside, so it's like, okay, I have
Yeah.
to do stuff outside. But also, okay, I'll grab up a bunch of wood and bring it inside for a couple, I could get by for a couple days. But when it's cold for so long, it's like,
There's
you
no
gotta go
getting
out there and
around
get
it.
wood.
Well, and I was a paramedic firefighter, and anytime the weather got below 32, you had to immediately start thinking about all the water on a scene of a fire.
Yeah,
Because even if there's no real fire, if you're just hooking up to a hydrant and disconnecting, you have to flush the hydrant. So there's water everywhere, which freezes. And when it's, single digits, that stuff freezes pretty quick. So now you have
really,
other issues. So I get it.
yeah,
You can't,
that sucks. Yeah.
yeah, you can't get around it.
Yeah, it makes everything a little bit more difficult for sure.
Absolutely. So I added a sixth one for you.
Okay.
Um, you're a farrier,
Hmm.
so your hand strength I know is second to none. So the question is, who opens the jars in the house? You or Mason?
You know, that's actually funny because I would say we both do. Randomly, if a jar is like, say it's a very like big jar, those ones I can't
Oh,
get open because I don't
right.
know if it's just his
You don't.
hands are way bigger than mine.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
when I have to turn over the jar job to him. But other than
But
that,
well, I
I
was
can
going to
get
say
them.
at the same time, if it's a smaller lid and you have bigger hands, it's also harder. So
That's
that would
true.
be
I
like,
don't
here
know.
you go, Kay.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
the small size jars. I get the extra large jars. We can split the rest.
100%. Yes. Yeah. Not 90% of the time I can get them, but every once in a while I give it to him and I say, well, this is now a man's job and hand it over to him and he'll take care of it if I can't get it.
There you go. All right, we survived all the hard ones.
Perfect.
Now, where I was going to start was with the are you actually from New Hampshire, which you are. So you've lived there a long time. You've dealt with the cold. Um, you have an outdoor job, like you said. I mean, farrier, you're not just putting shoes on horses, you're actually doing a lot of stuff with their hooves.
Yep.
So how have you ever been like, I need to find a new job?
I've debated it. I honestly, the kicker is I do actually really like my job. The other thing about it is that because I can make my own schedule, I can do my own thing. It
Mm.
makes it so I'm able to travel, go to matches. I can make a lot of money pretty quickly. So, you know, it is one of those things that it's nice in that way. Um, sometimes I do consider it like, oh, it's really cold outside today, and it's gonna suck a little bit to go out there. But thankfully, I have really good clients, and everyone's pretty patient when it's cold. And if they're not patient, they honestly don't end up being my clients for much longer. So I'm very lucky. I'm very choosy with my clients, and they're all great. So they're nice to hang out with. And that's the other part too. I get to hang out with them, talk to them. It's great. So I do really like my job, but I do consider it sometimes.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's a I wouldn't call it an easy job. Maybe
No,
difficult's not the right word, but I mean, you're dealing with large animals, and it's
yep,
outside, so there's a lot going on there.
100%.
So, so what does a typical day for a farrier look like?
Yeah, so I've got I just switched up my rig. I think it was in August this year. So I used to have a truck with a cap on the back, so it'd be portable to go to clients' places. Now I've got a uh, Forerunner that tows a trailer. It's actually really, really sick, custom made trailer. And so I tow that to a barn and set up. And if it's shoes, then I set up the whole trailer. It's got a propane forge in it. I have an anvil that swings out, grinder, drill press, everything I could really want. And then set up. If it's got shoes, I'd pull the shoes, trim the hooves, either reset those shoes or I would shape those shoes back up, reshape new shoes for that horse's hoof. I would burn it on. You kind of do like a quick seal, what they call it a hot fit. So you kind of quickly burn the foot. Once you're satisfied, throw it in the water, grind the shoe up, do any modifications it needs. So if the horse needs like pads or anything like that, traction devices, and then I'd take that back to the horse, prep the foot all up again, nail the shoe on, and then you take the foot forward and you clinch the nails. So, like, obviously, the nails come out, they're really sharp. You kind of
Yeah.
clinch them into the foot. So, you kind of create a pocket, drop the nail into it, make it all pretty and shiny, and then it's set to go. So, I do that. Sometimes I'll set up at a barn and I'll just work all day at that barn, depending on how many horses are there. Some stops, I'll go place to place to place. And some of those places I might just trim the horse. So I might just show up, trim the hooves, and then pack up and go. So it all depends. Kind of set up my day.
Do you have back problems?
I do not, no.
Man, that just hearing you talk is like my back was aching. I'm like, that's a lot of bending
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff. So, well,
Yeah.
good for you.
I'm really good about, I think that like stretching is really important, rolling. I work out pretty, I'd say, I go to the gym 4 days a week, and then I still like mountain bike and stuff on the side to work out more. So I think movement is also key. Like I would say I was more sore like 5 years ago when I didn't go to the gym. Like I just like muscle soreness, not like back problems. But
Right.
now I feel, I'll be muscle sore as in they're tired, but not muscle sore as in like, oh, I really tweaked that muscle.
Not achy or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a difference then. Have you ever run across a horse that just didn't want to be touched?
Mm-hmm.
How do you
Yeah.
deal with that? That's a big animal. I've got Great Danes, but that's a big, big
Yeah.
animal.
So we have a couple options now, which is nice. Drugs. So horses.
For you or the horse?
The horse. Maybe the owner. I don't know. And, so that is one really good thing, is that if a horse is really not into shoeing or trimming, or maybe it's just stressed out, maybe the owner is not great about discipline, I can just say, hey, get this prescription from your vet. You put it under the horse's tongue. 45 minutes later, I show up and the horse is dopey. It's still standing, but it's very sleepy, like sedated.
Who's sticking their fingers in that horse's mouth to put it under his tongue?
Not me.
Not me either.
You
need like Iron Man gloves for that.
100%. So that's an option. But obviously when you start out, you're showing up to appointments, you don't know that the horse might be bad. So show up, you ask all the questions, is your horse good for the farrier? Is it this? Is it that? But like, I'll tell you an example story. Mules and donkeys are like lightning fast, and they are really good when they're good, but they're generally a little smart for their owners in general. So anyway, I show up and there's these two mules, and the one is like very calm eye. I can tell this one's good. So I trim it up, set to go. And I'm looking at this other one, and it's just got like the eye, and I can just tell, I'm like, there's no chance I will trim this thing. But, you can't say, yeah, I could tell by the look in its eye that it's going to be a bad day, and I'm just going to leave. So I'm like, okay, I got to at least, show them this thing's not going to be good. So like technique wise, you stand up by the shoulder, because they can't get you if you're at the shoulder, and you can kind of put your arm around their wither, because then you're glued to them. Because if you get separated, that's when you get stepped on or hurt. So kind of put my arm around it, and I literally just ran my hand like just to the hind leg, and this thing lunged forward at the owner, just like tried to run him over. And I was like, yep, I'm good. And told him, you can get drugs, you can X, Y, and Z, but I won't trim it without drugs. And I think actually what happened was the owner of that one, actually, I do remember this. The owner of that one actually turned into a farrier. So it worked out. She started trimming it herself. Yeah. So that one worked out, but that was one of those situations, it was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this one done. So I won't at this point in my career. I have so many good horses to do that I'm not going to work on anything that's bad. So that's kind of nice in that way. If the owner's not willing to drug it, then they can find someone else.
How long does it take you to build up that experience to know, like, okay, this one's going to be a problem, that one will be fine?
I don't think that's, I think that's more so like intuition. I guess I would say I learned that when I was younger and rode a lot, just kind of reading horses. Their
body language.
They have some body language, and they also have some energy. It's one of those things where, they say that horses will really pay attention to your energy. And it's one of those things you can kind of feel coming off of them too, that whether they're going to be hostile or chill, or, they're nervous, you kind of have to deal with them all differently based on what they have going on.
When did you know you were going to be a farrier?
Um, so that happened because I was doing a internship class in high school, and I've always been really good with numbers. I was a math whiz, so I thought that I wanted to be an accountant for my parents' company at the time. They owned a welding business. And so I started doing for the internship class some work in an office, doing like, following along, doing like accounting things and filing things and stuff like that. And, I was finding myself just staring at the clock like, wow, this is awful. And I thought to myself, there's no way I could do this for, 40 years. This is
Right.
horrible. And so I needed credit for the class. So our farrier at the time said to me, hey, why don't you just come with me for, do your class with me? And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm tough enough to be a farrier. I really, because she was really, really tough. And anyway, I started going with her and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. I can do it. It's just kind of like a workout. And so I did that. And then I started kind of going with her the summer after I graduated and realized, oh, I can do this. So that was it. I went to school
Oh,
and came back and apprenticed with a few other farriers and did that.
how long is farrier school?
I went for 4.5 months. So you can go, you're not required to go to school in the United States. So you could literally just pick up tools and advertise on, you know, Craigslist and say, hey, I'll go trim your horse. There's a certification process, but you're not required to do it. So I went to school, I did the certification process for a couple of different organizations in the US, just because I enjoy the process and I think it's good to prove yourself, just like we are competing. So I went through the process to get certifications and did all that. So it's fun.
Well, I'm sure that helps for the business too, because now when, a new client, they're gonna be like, well, at least you can say I have these certifications, I've done
100%.
all this stuff,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah. Yeah.
just Joe Snuffy off the street advertising
Yeah.
on Craigslist.
Which I think that matters a lot where I'm at, because there's not really enough farriers, so no matter what, anyone can get business, but it is more competitive if you want to get, paid well. So,
Hmm.
but out like, I mean, down south and out west, it's like, oh yeah, we got a hoof clipper. He comes a couple times a year, and it's not nearly as in depth, I think, down there as it is maybe up here. But it
Okay.
definitely, I'm glad that I did do all that I did, and I did some competing too. I think that it's good to do. Have yourself get tested and do all that. So it was fun.
I had no idea. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I had no idea
Mm.
they even had that stuff.
Yeah, no,
Competitions with farrier.
yeah, it's actually cool. If you look up World Championship Blacksmiths is a traveling. He's got a big trailer with, I think it's got like 10 or 12 coke coal forges, and they set up and they compete all over the place. So that it's actually really cool. I went and did a couple of those while I was in school, and then there's like local chapters too. But that's the big one that goes and spins around. A lot of the big names go to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That does sound pretty cool. I will have to check that out. So how okay. So you've been doing that for a minute.
Mm.
How did you end up getting into pistol shooting, practical shooting, competition, all of that?
So I was not like against guns. I shot a lot actually growing up and everything. Not like competitively though, like go out there and plank with the 22 or the 9mm or whatever. And I was competing in the horseshoeing at the time, but I was realizing kind of at that point that it was like, wow, this is kind of like wearing out my shoulders and elbows already because it's a lot of like hammering. Like you're just practicing, hammering, building shoes. And I was like, I don't know if I really want this particular part of my job to be my hobby. And I'd gotten out of horseback riding. So I met Mason and I would watch him shoot Lotus Mags, that sort of thing. And then I finally realized in the spring, I was like, okay, this is pretty boring if I keep watching this. And I'm kind of in need of a hobby. So I started just doing PCC with him. And I did that for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months before I was like, yeah, PCC is really fun, but once you can hit anything, it's just like, you got to go faster. You got to go faster. Everything is just, you got to go faster because it's not really hard to hit anything with a PCC. So I was like, okay, I might go pistol just to make it a little bit,
Add some complexity
harder.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really, really liked that. So that's when I started really jumping into it, signing up for more matches the following year, and the rest is history.
Have you always shot a SIG?
I have 2 checkmates in my safe
Oh.
that I've shot a little bit. I shot a couple of matches over winter, especially when I had tennis elbow really bad for like 2 years, and the open guns were so much better on it just because it's less likely for you to like do weird grip pressure things, when the job is just like hold the gun. And I think it helped too that those guns you can switch out the grips and make it so that the grip was more able to fit my hand. So I did a lot with the open gun training over winter, and I think I shot it at a couple matches. But so I have them; they sit in the safe. I shoot them every once in a while just for fun because I think it's fun, like cross training. But it is kind of expensive, and I'm kind of scared to break them because I only have 2.
So no open in your future?
I don't know. We'll see. You never know. You never know.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? I mean, I'm pretty like I like shooting the SIGs, and that's one of those things. But you never know. Maybe they'll make an open gun eventually. Who knows? I mean, at least they're doing. We can do some LO now, so that'd be
Right.
cool. Yeah.
So what's the biggest difference between shooting your checkmates in open and a SIG in carry optics?
I would say that I think shooting major is very freeing, for me because I could be like, I mean, the reason I answer the question of, what would be the shooting skill you get, shoot faster. That's one of my struggles. At home, when I'm in practice and comfortable, I can shoot pretty fast. But the second I'm in a match and I'm stressed about how I'm doing, I kind of clamp up and
Okay.
slow down. So I think that shooting open is very freeing, where it's like, okay, Charlie's on those, not a big deal. You can take those and just move on, keep moving, pushing the speed.
So if major scoring became minor scoring, the same as minor scoring, would that
Mm.
change then how you operated the checkmate in a match?
Probably. I mean, I think it would change the strategy for sure. I mean, right now the cool thing about open is you are able to make those strategic decisions to drop Charlies in certain locations, or uh, it's more likely that you need to take the speed option than take the safe plan. So I think it would probably change slightly. No matter what, I think that it is just an overall easier gun to shoot as well, which I think makes it a little bit easier to let it happen. But yeah, I would say strategy would definitely change.
Okay. I know there's been a lot of chatter online.
Mm,
I'm one of those that I would just like to see everything minor scoring. You can keep major power factor because obviously open needs to
mm,
be major, but I also feel that when they created the major and minor and the scoring differences, historically it was because people were shooting heavy recoil guns that there was no way to dampen the recoil
Yeah.
versus these guys, like 45. And then you have people shooting, 9 or
Yeah.
38, which was much lighter recoil. So then they had to do something to, because you were going against the same people. So you had to do
Yeah.
something to even it out.
For
And we're
sure.
not, we're not at that point anymore. That's long gone.
So I would say my opinion on it. I think the nuance is cool. I think that if you did remove power factor, I think that you need to revamp all the divisions. Because if you have just a bunch of divisions that are essentially the same, like we look at carry optics and limited optics, I do think that a properly tuned LO gun is an advantage to a carry optics gun, but it's so close that I think that you need those divisions to separate slightly. Like I would like to see like a more of a production optics 15 round and a limited optics, load them up, whatever. But then what's going to keep LO and open from being a little bit too similar if you do that too? I mean, at least there's a little bit of round change, but I don't know. I don't
Well,
know. It's kind of hard.
I think now that I didn't even know this, someone had posted it and I was like, no, it's not the same. But I didn't realize IPSC had created another optics division just
Yeah.
called optics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so now I think I wasn't for combining CO and LO.
Yeah. I wasn't
I think
either.
there's enough of a nuance there, but they need to be separated a little more. And now I think you could say, I think you could make the argument CO can be PO,
Yeah.
LO can be optics, keep all our normal rules and, how your equipment is done on
100%.
your belt, but align them more like IPSC. And now you're like, okay, now you have the term you've been using, proper carry
Yeah.
optics and a proper limited optics. And then you would still have a big separation because I still think the compensator, the frame mounted optic, and the
Yeah. That's true.
170 mags are a big advantage.
Yeah. That's true.
So a finely tuned open gun is just like a reciprocating slide,
Yeah. No, it's true. I think that you'd almost have less of it. I guess I would think the where the division between the divisions gets smaller is probably limited in production. That'd be where it's really almost
Oh,
no
yeah.
difference. So
Other
I don't
than the
know what
fact
you
that
would do there.
you could use 2011s unlimited where you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to in production. So
Yeah. That's pretty close though. I don't
it
know.
is. But I mean, but let's look at it this way. Iron sights are practically
I know.
dead. There's like almost no real participation. There's no
I
real.
know.
When I talked about participation, I said you still have the top people are still very,
Yeah.
very good,
Yep.
but the number
The
of top
number.
people has shrunk considerably. So now
Yeah.
you have, five who would be competitive in any division with any
Yes.
gun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's only five now instead of 20.
Yeah.
So
I,
it's,
I remember the first nationals I went to, it was the 9 days of nationals. And I
mm,
shot the carry optics match and I shot it on the opposite schedule of Mason. So I'd watch him shoot the carry optics match and I'd sit there with, practice score competitor and I'd keep track and track everyone's scores. And it was like, yeah, it was like tough, but it was fine. There were like 3 or 4 people I was tracking. And
right.
then I remember the production match happened next, and I was so overwhelmed because I was tracking like 15 people to
Right.
like who like this guy could win, this guy could win, this guy could win.
Yeah.
Just all changing orders, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even know like
And
who's going to win this match. And now
yeah,
it's
because some of those
completely
people aren't
opposite.
on the super squad. They could be
Yeah,
scattered all throughout the
100%.
match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Now
was
that's not the case.
now there's only, I mean, the top guys still shoot it, but you look at the participation like limited, what was it, 20 guys in limited, And it's like, yeah, you still have a couple really good guys at the top, but there's only 20 total. It's just not good. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I think you would need to revamp the divisions too, because in my opinion, like I still think production should be around. I don't know what you would do. I think it's good to have a baseline division for, optics and irons, and then maybe, the racier version. But I don't know. I think iron sights would need to be probably broken down into, uh, two divisions maybe instead of what, four right now.
Four. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
four.
which sucks to
Well,
say. I just think it's one of those things where when you're making changes to divisions, I think that we can't just keep adding them. At some point, we're adding them on the optics side because we really do need them, because you have so many people and so many different types of guns. But on the iron sight end, it's really dying.
yeah, like well, technically you have five. I never count limited 10.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I know that one. That one just needs to be taken out back
it,
pretty
it,
rapidly.
it does. If you get rid of that, then you can figure out what you want to do with the real four iron sight divisions:
Yeah,
limited, production, single stack, and revolver.
yeah,
Figure out what you want to do with those. And then you would have limited optics, carry optics, PCC, and open on the optic side. You've got an even split,
yeah,
I think now you need to have an optics nationals and an irons nationals. My concern is, will you get enough people that want to shoot irons at
yeah,
a nationals to fill it up and make it worthwhile?
yeah. Probably not. Honestly, I mean
Well,
that
they
was what it wasn't full that first year they introduced
20
LO, and then
24. Yeah.
yeah, and then it filled right up with a wait list.
Yeah, it did. As soon as they said, okay, limited optics is allowed, whew,
Yeah,
like
and then a bunch of people that were shooting iron sights were like, "Oh, I'm not going to shoot iron
switched.
sights."
Yeah. And that made other people mad.
100%.
So, but it just goes to show, though, too, in general, I mean, everybody's going to optics on everything.
They are. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I remember that first nationals I shot in carry optics, I literally had a red dot like die during the match, and it's like they just weren't as reliable at that point in time. But now there's more and more companies that are making pretty reliable, good dots. They're becoming more affordable. It just it makes a lot of sense defensively in competition, learning. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where dots just they do make sense. I mean, iron sights are fun. Like I'll pick up Mason's, production gun every once in a while and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to shoot a drill with it." And it's fun, but it's not.
You pick up his boomer gun.
Yeah, it's boomer gun. Brush the dust off of it.
Oh. So
Yeah.
do you see yourself making the switch over to limited optics then, or do you think you'll be going back and forth?
I really don't know. I'll probably go back and forth. Honestly, I think that shooting internationally, production optics really complements my style.
Okay.
So I would say that's probably the division I would stay in more. But I'm also curious. Like I think 3 or 4 days ago, Sig released their new 211 with a 5-inch slide, which I'd be curious to shoot and see if I
Hmm.
like it. Because that would definitely be fun to do a little cross training with. So I mean, it's still an aluminum grip, but down the line, you never know. Maybe they'll make a steel, and that'd be fun to do some training with.
I feel like internationally, like you
Mm.
still have iron sights that are very popular
Oh
around the
yeah,
world because they're not like the US market where, you know, you have millions of people that are buying pistols every year and optics and
yes.
ammo and all of that. So I'm sure we are by far the largest firearms market in the world.
I
Um, so I feel like production optics is probably where internationally most of the competition would be for optics other than open.
Yeah, I know I looked at the numbers on for World Shoot, and the biggest division at World Shoot was production optics, but I think it was
Oh,
eight shooters back was production. So those are still the big divisions internationally.
yeah.
I think open had lost a lot. Optics wasn't a thing yet, so the question is what's going to happen there. I don't know if they have a if internationally they have as much access to the 2011 market as we do. I mean, that's like
W-
a big thing here
Yeah,
right now.
it is.
It's very trendy, but I don't know. So I mean, I don't know if it will catch on a pile overseas, or maybe it won't. I don't know.
And I think the barrier for them is one, price, and
Mm,
then two, they have many more restrictive laws than
yeah,
most of the areas in the state. So that's why I
yeah,
think production optics would be easier. So you're going to get more people in production optics internationally than
yeah,
optic division. So it'll be interesting to see, like you say, how that plays out. And was it
yeah.
3? It's supposed to be 4 years, isn't it? I thought it was 4 years, but
Four. Yeah, it'll be 2029, 2020.
okay.
Wait, yeah, 2029. So
Okay. Have they announced where that's going to be yet?
Italy.
It is Italy. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Italy. That's right. Okay. So I want to talk about I I know you said you've been doing this for 8 years, but we've been talking about the weather. Like you said, you've got 6 inches of snow outside right now.
Yep.
We know there's more weather coming later this week, and
Yeah.
then I think there's another storm the week after. We're just in a pattern where it's going to
Yeah.
just keep flowing. So I feel like you and Mason are one of those sets of people that your training is broken down by season.
Yeah.
Like like I think you said you took 3 weeks off for the holidays and stuff, so you put everything aside.
Yep.
But what does training at this time of the year? So from and look, I know here, well, the earliest it has snowed, I've lived in this area of Virginia. I've called it home since 1976.
Mm.
Don't judge me. And I know that on October 10th of 1978, it snowed.
Yeah.
So it can snow early here. So I know it snows early up there.
Yeah.
So November 1 to probably April 1, you're looking at cold weather, never know what's going to happen. So how do you train during that period of time?
So I would say on a normal year, this year has been exceptionally bad. Like normally it'll be a week of freezing cold weather. It's absolutely terrible, but then you'll get like a warm up of, some day will hit 40 degrees. And yeah, you're stomping around on snow, but you can go shoot in 40-degree weather and make some progress. This year has not been good for that. I think Mason and I got to shoot last weekend 2 days, and it was finally the weather hit 40 degrees, but it's been almost 2 months of very, very cold weather. Other than that, so I took the 3 weeks off and then jump into it, and it's a lot of dry fire, trying to go to indoors when I can. The SIG Academy has a really good one I like to go to. So we'll try to do that once a week if we can. The sucky thing is we've only done that, I think, once or twice. I'm going to try to go Wednesday this week.
What's the
Um,
travel time for that
it's about 45 minutes for us.
each
So it's
way
not, yeah,
with
yeah.
with good weather?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
it's all highway. So yeah, if there is weather, it's not as quick. But they have a really good indoor. We have to go on the weekdays just because they're busy. If not, so we'll usually go. Me, Mason, and Phil will train together for a couple hours on like a weekday morning, and we'll try to plan it on bad weather days because I won't work if it's under 20 degrees. So we'll go try to do that. Do a little bit of training indoors, dry fire, and then if we can get outdoors, it's obviously a little bit better just lighting wise. And so we'll go down to our range if it's above 40. We have a local club that has an indoor, but honestly, it's the lighting's not great there. I was debating going there tomorrow, but I'm still debating not. It's just not that nice in there. But yeah, the SIG Academy indoor is properly nice. So if they don't have any classes in there, we'll try to get in there when we can. But still, we're lucky to live fire one, maybe 2 days a week if it's like a really good week.
Okay. When you say dry fire, are we talking 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? What?
It depends on the day. For me, I try to not go too crazy just because I'm really prone to the tennis elbow, and dry fire is worse
Mm,
on it than shooting just because you're doing a lot of really quick reps.
right.
So I'll usually do something around 30 minutes, do, 10 minutes of manipulations, and then try to do 20 minutes of effort on something that's, I'm trying to get better at, like transitions or something like that.
Okay. So you have a plan on what you're going to do in dry fire before you do it.
Yeah, generally.
Okay. When you're like during the winter now and you're just doing
Mm.
dry fire, are you just doing it to keep the rust off, or are you like, "Oh, I need to work on this or that?" I feel like the less shooting you do like during this time, there's less that you're like, "Oh, I need to work on something specific," unless it was a big issue at the end of last season.
So I would say both. Like that first 10 minutes where I'm doing like manipulations, that's my like rust knockoff. Like, okay, do all the different draws, the different positions, unloaded starts, reloads, all that crap. Usually that last, 15, 20 minutes, I'm doing something that I'm wanting to change that maybe I took notes on in the middle of the year or at the end of the year that I thought would take maybe too long to change that I want to put effort into changing. Like one of the things I'm changing, this is for like draws and grip overall, but I'm changing like my thumb position on the gun. So that like takes so much repetition of just doing it over
Right.
and over and over and over again. And it was just something that I noticed I wasn't liking at the end of last year. So I'm changing that. And the other thing I'm currently working on is just making sure the grip holds up after a lot of rounds. So dry firing like a very long sequence and making sure the grip holds up throughout the entire thing. So just something I noticed that on short courses, my grip was holding up really well. But as the course of fire went on longer, especially like 32 round big stages, I noticed I was not as happy with my grip, especially in video. Like gun is, you know, kind of porpoising a little bit, and I did not like that. So that's been a change that I'm trying to implement this year.
So was that just maybe relaxing the
Oh
pressure
yeah,
as it went on?
yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just honestly, I don't know if it's fatigue or if it's. I don't necessarily think it's fatigue, but I think that it could just be overall it's something that is falling apart after a period of time. So I'm trying to make it not fall apart after a period of time.
Right. You know, I had that same issue.
Mm,
And I know it wasn't grip strength, and I know it
yeah.
wasn't exhaustion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
I was like I didn't know if I was just losing focus on my grip or what
Yeah.
the issue was, but I actually switched to the Eric Grafel
Oh, the
grip.
push pull. Like,
Yeah, well, and
yeah.
the finger on
Oh,
front of
yeah.
the trigger guard,
Okay.
and that has really seemed to help me because I think what my issue was, I was squeezing so hard that my hand would start sliding forward, my support
Mm,
hand. So I wouldn't have as good a grip.
yep.
And by putting my finger on the front of the trigger guard, it seems to keep my hand in place.
Interesting. Okay.
So that has really been a difference for me. Now when I go back to the other grip, I'm like, I feel like I can't get my hand on the grip
Yeah.
right, and it's really weird. But
That's cool.
that
Interesting.
yeah, little weird things, you
Yeah,
know.
it is. And it's one of those things that like something different, works for everybody. And that was one of the things I always shot. I used to not, but I always shot with my thumbs kind of up, like on the side of the gun, because
Mhm.
in the beginning when I started shooting, I would hit the slide lock, so the gun would never lock back.
Oh.
And so it became this thing, okay, I'm going to train myself to put my thumbs up. But I've noticed that it makes it really hard to, one, like lock your left wrist. So it's like not, it's not locking as easily versus when your thumb's forward, it locks in a lot better. But the other thing is, again, making sure that my hands are staying in the exact same position, which they normally are, but I just think it's more likely to get screwed up when, your thumbs are up. It's just less contact. So,
While you're talking, I figured I would
yeah.
grab my Rival S. But here's the you said locking your wrist out. Here's the other thing I found
Mm.
too. Now look, I'm not Mason, so don't, I'm not claiming to be an expert here.
No, no,
So,
yeah, no, you're fine.
but for me, what I have found too is when I have my finger on the trigger guard,
Yeah.
I pull down at such an angle that it like forces my left wrist kind of forward
To
into that
and locks
being
it.
able to
Yeah,
lock it. Yeah.
100%.
So so I know what. I wanted to demonstrate that because I'm like, that's what I noticed too. I can apply that little bit of a, I don't know what you want to call that, a pull,
Like a
a
little
tweak,
twist
or
or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's so interesting because it's like based on, the gun you're shooting, your hand strength, just
100%.
it really
Yeah.
does change what's best. I I was teaching recently and, we were discussing you know, whether you should push a student away from a certain grip or, push them towards maybe like the proper grip. And like the way I said it was just, if the grip makes it so you can shoot fast, shoot accurately, and it is repeatable, then it's fine. But it needs to check all those boxes. Like we can't do a little, it's really good when I get it right, but I can only get it right 1 out of 5 times. Like, okay, then that doesn't work. It's
When
one of those things.
when I taught rifle, one of the things I always saw was people are like, "Oh, you have to have your pad on the trigger."
Mm.
So different hand sizes, people would then be changing the angle of their grip, and I'm like, just grab it the way you want to grab it and let your finger fall where it falls, and
Yeah,
it'll work better that way for you. And sure
100%.
enough, 99 times out of 100, they're like, "Oh, yeah, look, it works." Yeah, stop trying to think you have to do it a certain way.
Yes.
You're not everybody else.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things like that finger pad trick can really help people when they're having issues inputting like into the side of the gun. But if they're not and they're doing it naturally, then it's like, okay, well, it's repeatable, it's working, not a big deal. But yeah, it's interesting trying to pick what techniques are acceptable and which are not.
Right. And I think it goes back to what you said. I mean, if it's working, then if it checks all the
Yeah.
boxes, then it's perfectly fine. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it.
And the only argument, I'll get into is, you'll have people that maybe they're shooting accurately with it because they're, sitting there feathering the trigger. They've got a grip that's like this and they're just feathering the trigger and it's like, oh, well, I can hit whatever. And it's like, yeah, but the second I tell you, okay, hit that target now, you're going to miss. So that one does not allow
Right.
you to shoot fast. But yeah, it's interesting. But there are a lot of grips that work really good, especially different guns, different gun sizes,
Yeah.
for sure.
And you could take the same gun and just change the grips and the back
Yeah,
strap, and now you got to change your grip around.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. All of a sudden you're getting trigger freeze because the reach is different and all
Yeah.
kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah, which is a whole other. Yeah. Yeah, that's just, and like I said, my issue has never been, reaching the trigger or any of that, but the grip size itself has to be a certain size, or it's just too small for me to shoot.
Yes. Yeah. That's
So,
I've definitely noticed when you get a gun that's just too small, it's like, okay, I just have to accept I cannot shoot this as fast because you almost have to grip it with your strong hand, and
yeah.
it's yeah. We do
Well,
those everyday carry matches, and
oh, okay.
365 shoots great, but it's tiny still, it's
It
one of those
is.
things. So when you're shooting like a 32 round course of fire with 365, it's like, wow, this thing is small. It is like you really do have to kind of like press through the trigger. It's not necessarily, perfect prep and press, but it is not a wham 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 like you are with your normal competition gun.
Right. I have avoided buying any compact guns until about 10 days ago.
Oh, really? What'd you get?
Yep. I got the Canic Prime
Okay.
because the grip. Now I went and I played with a bunch of them
Mm,
at gun shows to figure out which one. And the
yeah.
Canic, the thing I like about the Canics for me is their grips fit my hands well.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Uh, and the Canic Prime, even though it's a compact gun, the grip is thick enough and deep enough that I can get both hands on there. The palm is not below the
Yeah.
grip, which is also another problem. I
Hmm.
absolutely hate that. I
Yes.
cannot deal with that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I totally get it. But that's interesting. An everyday carry match that would be fun.
It's really fun. They do it up at the SIG Academy, and I think it's usually like June or July. It's when it's hot up here. I remember that. But yeah, it's actually really fun. It used to be like IDPA style, where it'd be like, oh yeah, you're in this car, and then you got to shoot X, Y, and Z. But they've made it honestly more so just like a regular match. They've got some things like, okay, you're at the gas pump or whatever, but then you're shooting a regular stage. It's very fun.
I like that though. I like
Mm,
those scenarios. If they would combine that with shooting on the move,
yeah.
I think IDPA would be onto something. And I just said I just shot a GSSF match,
Mm,
and part of what I was saying in there too was, if IDPA allowed shooting on the move, I think they would attract younger shooters.
yeah.
I think the fact that you move to a spot, shoot, move to a spot, shoot, move to a spot, shoot,
Yeah.
equalizes everything for the older folks,
Yeah.
but it would definitely expand to being more popular to the younger folks if you could shoot on the move. And I think that's realistic. I don't think this whole defensive thing is
Some
true with shooting on the move.
Yeah, some of the rules get a little crazy too. Like I remember I shot my first IDPA match, which was in Mass. Actually, a really really fun match. I think it's the New England Regional, maybe is the one. Very fun match, very fun scenarios, but I freaking racked up so many penalties with like not cutting the pie properly and just doing stupid stuff like
Right.
that, where it's like, okay, this is or we're at it. And half the time it's, with the order of operations, you ask someone, well, what if I shoot this, then that? And they're like, they'll just reread the briefing. And it's like, okay, can we just tell me if you're going to give me a penalty or not? It's the, the
Right.
rules here are a little
And
crazy.
if you're the RO, you should be able to answer that question.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There
not
should be no
coaching.
doubt.
Yes. But
No, not at
actually,
all.
really, I will say, really cool match. They had a stage where you were in a boat and you had the pistol in front of you and you had to row and then shoot some targets. You could set the gun down or you could, just try to get a good row so that you're shooting on the move while you're going and then row again, shoot some more targets. Like they brought in water and made a ravine
Area
with the
8.
boat. It's crazy. And they had one I thought was so funny too. They had a flagpole and they attached a bungee cord to your wrist. And the idea was you were walking your dog when you got into a shootout. So you're transitioning around and pulling this weight with this bungee cord and pulling you
Oh,
around while you're
wow.
trying to shoot. It was crazy. It like very, very cool ideas. So it's one of those things where I'd love to see stuff like I don't want to see that in every match, but if you knew what you were getting into and you were getting into a match like that, it'd be like pretty fun.
Chris and Tess Dye, they're the ones who run the IDPA match closest to me.
Okay.
Two great people. Their matches are awesome. I can remember this stage specifically where you started with both hands on the lawnmower
Hmm.
And at the beep, you had to push the lawnmower forward, which pulled a cable, which activated a swinger like 3 yards in front of you. So you had to draw, shoot the swinger, and then get moving. And it's
100%.
like, I love that kind of stuff is fun.
It's super cool. They have some that are really, really cool activation sequences. And like they've have some where they do stuff, they do a lot of stuff with the lasers. So it'll be you cross this threshold and within 3 seconds this mover starts going. But it's not right away. It's just you cross that threshold and it's on a timer on when it's gonna activate. It's crazy. Crazy.
Wow.
They're the guys up near us are very impressive with what they do on those stages. It's just the rule set kind of holds me back on that one.
I think it does for a lot of people. I think that's the number one issue with most people is just the rule set, which I
Yeah,
totally get. Yeah.
yeah.
The match is fun, but it's like it could be 100% funner.
It'd be so much more fun.
Yeah,
We're so
absolutely.
close, but just so far.
So, what did you think of the PCSL Nats stage inside the vehicle?
That was the one you started, shot 3 targets, and got out.
Yeah,
That's that one. Okay, I thought it was cool. Yeah, no, I think the shooting in vehicles and stuff like that, it's kind of cool. It always reminds people about doubling up your pro. Um,
or just deal with ringing ears for a week.
for sure. No, I thought that stage was cool. That was the first stage I shot, so I remember that one was a little, nerve wracking and everything. But um, I don't love the PCSL stages where you're crossing what you already shot, only because
Right.
you're memorizing these plans that get crazy. They get really, really crazy. So, and that one was kind of one of those, but I thought that the shooting challenge on that one was pretty fun, though.
All right. Well, let's talk about that real quick because I've had a couple of guests on and we've talked about PCSL Nats and the difficulty in multi-gun stage planning versus single gun stage
100%.
planning.
Yeah.
How much more difficult is it to commit to memory a PCSL 2 gun stage versus a carry optic stage in USPSA?
Significantly harder. I would say that the kicker with PCSL stages is like you could not show up day of and make a plan and shoot it in the 5 minutes.
Oh,
There's just no way to do it. Versus if you show up at a Carry Optics Nationals, even even if someone didn't explain their plan to you, it would be like, yeah, I can shoot this stage. Maybe it won't be the gamer plan, but you could get the stage shot, shoot all the targets. I think in PCSL, even if someone sat there and said, hey, this is my plan, it's still not necessarily going to go perfect for you just from uh, the difficulty of memorizing that.
I feel like there's a lot of conscious thought still going on while, just all the people I watch shoot it, I'm like, you can still see the wheels turning,
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah. Well, especially, I mean, like I said, those stages where you're covering what you already covered, maybe you need to go to the left side of that corner position as opposed to the right side. So you're, you're running through that memory, but you kind of almost have to think about it like, oh, this was the second time. That means at the right side, which is not normally how it is for a single gun stage, I would say. I mean, you wouldn't go to
Yeah.
a position twice in a in a single gun stage.
No. Well, if you did, you're like, somebody forgot a target and had to go back or they're going to get an FTSA, you know?
Somebody's having a bad day in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. I had that. I think it was was it the last national? It was the last. I think it was my last nationals that I shot at CMP where they had that like 28 steel
Mm-hmm.
stage, and it was like you had to keep moving and stopping and shooting ones.
Yes.
And then I got to the end and I'm like, why is there still a steel target over there? And then I'm like, where in the hell do I see that from? I forget.
Yes.
And I had to go all the way back to the middle to
Oh,
shoot it. I'm like, what a terrible stage.
that one was rough. And that was L10. It was L10 single stack and it wasn't even production, was it? What?
I was shooting carry
Oh,
optics.
was that one carry optics? I'm
Y-
thinking of the all
Yeah,
steel
and
stage at no, that was Talladega.
yeah,
Yeah, so no, different. Yeah, no, CMP.
hmm
Huh? I
the
don't know.
CMP, it's all the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I know I was shooting.
trying
I
to
don't
think.
remember. I don't think that was the carry optics PCC match.
Okay.
There was the one after that. I think. Oh, I
Hmm.
can't.
I must be
Cannot
thinking of a
remember.
different one. I'm thinking of that at L10 Nationals. There was this the one stage where it was all those windows, and it was like all
Oh,
like you had to get 3 steel from this window, 5 steel from that window, and you had to go to almost all the windows. You could like cut positions by staying back. It was ridiculous, and you're shooting with 10 rounds. I was like, oh my good lord, this is rough.
yeah. I don't. I think this one was just a linear shooting area.
Mm,
I don't remember because there was another stage that match too where it was linear, but then there were two pathways forward that
okay.
you could run down and shoot some stuff, but I don't think that was it. I think this one was just straight linear and it was just in between walls.
Yeah.
So you had to
Oh, yep.
shoot around walls and stuff,
Yep.
but
They all look the same.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think that was 2022. So
Okay.
it's been a minute
Yep.
cuz I went 2020, 2021, 2022.
Okay.
So I think the 9 days of nationals, it was either 2018 or 2019. I forget which.
Yeah.
It was one of the
9 days
when I
was 2018.
okay.
2019 was Utah and then Florida. Utah.
2020 was Florida,
Okay. Yep.
and that was production and carry optics.
Hmm. Yeah. And then I think after that, we kind of left Florida, went
Yep.
everywhere else.
And then 21 and 22 was CMP, and then it's kind of been a mix from there.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Long time.
yeah, yeah. Now you've traveled around. I mean, you've been to Thailand, you've been to Greece, you've been now South Africa, Puerto Rico, and who knows where else you've been.
Yes.
But which range facility has been your favorite?
Ooh, range. So you're saying not the country, the range.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can lump it all together. I'm okay with that.
Mm,
Like if there's one place you're like, that's where I want to go back and shoot again.
well, I would say Greece was my favorite location, but I would say
Okay.
not the best match. Um,
Okay.
I would say, I mean, match was good. It just wasn't as good as some. Like the Czech Extreme match, the first time I went, I was just like mind blown. The match was absolutely insane, and I would go back to Czech again. For actual range quality and the stages, the bays, like the range experience, Thailand is off the charts. I mean, they built that range for World Shoot. It was absolute insanity. Just, I mean,
It looked amazing.
yeah, every stage decorated to the nines.
Even
Ba-
that I don't know if it was I think it was a nearby range that people would go and shoot
yes,
at that had like partial overhead cover.
yes, yeah, we
That
went
looked
there.
a, that
It
looked
was insane.
amazing.
Yeah, it was like a building and then they had the bays coming out of the building so you could shoot undercover but be shooting with outdoor light. Like the bays were grass bays. And it was like I think it was like $10 and you got a guy that pasted your targets too. It was insane.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say like Thailand, I don't want to get on a plane and fly there
Oh my gosh, yeah.
again. That was rough. And I wouldn't want to do it for South Africa either. I mean, that is a long flight. Um, if I were to go to Thailand again, I would want to go up north to like, Chiang Mai and all that kind of
Mm.
thing. But the actual range in Thailand was insane. And the match quality was amazing too. It was a much more diverse and I would say difficult match than South Africa. South Africa range quality was pretty bad.
Uh, oh yeah.
It
Well,
was
yeah, your head is probably still
yeah.
feeling that.
Yeah, I'm good now, but yeah, I I don't have a lot of like very clear, distinct memory of that entire trip. It's
So
kind of
you're out of concussion protocol?
I am, yes, I am out of concussion protocol, thankfully. Yeah. Ugh.
Now, going back, you said the grass was so green at the Thailand
Yeah,
range. In the pictures, I thought it was artificial turf.
yeah, that green. Like
Yeah.
I bet they sprayed. I bet they did the like the quick growing grass on it because it was just
Mm.
it. I mean, how do you get grass on berms that looks that good? Just I don't
So
know.
until you said grass, I was thinking it was artificial turf.
Yeah, no,
So you just corrected me.
yeah.
Wow, that's
It that
crazy.
range was absolutely insane. But I would go to Greece in a heartbeat just because you know you have the water, the food, the match is good. Their bays are a little bit small, but the overall experience there and pretty easy flight, not a big deal. It's pretty solid.
I feel like the whole Eastern Europe, Greece area would just be a great place to go to experience stuff and
Yeah,
shoot a match, you
yeah,
know?
for sure. We want to do not this year, but next year. I think we're going to try to go to Italy. Just do a little bit of like scouting trip.
Mm-hmm.
Go shoot a match, and I'm excited. We want to go mountain biking in the Dolomites. There, they've got like
Get out of here.
yeah, that looks like once in a
That's the
lifetime kind
Italian
of thing.
Alps, right?
I think so. From what I
Yeah, I'm
understand,
pretty
it's
sure
like
it's the
it,
Italian Alps.
yeah, it's like ski resort in the winter, and in the summer, it's they'll bring you up. They have all these trails, and it's not like here when you get on a ski lift, it's you're getting into something sketchy. Probably, you're
Yeah.
going downhill. It's bad.
It's imagine that's exactly what was going through my head. I'm
Yes,
like, one of
yeah,
them's not coming back.
100% there. It's yeah, there's some trails that are harder than others, but it's like absolutely beautiful, just like rolling downhill trails. Like
Oh, okay.
insane, insanely beautiful. They've got the lake there. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos on it, and it looks amazing. So
Well, you
I'm
guys
looking
did
forward to
that in
that.
Utah, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. We've been Mason and I have been mountain biking a lot. We bought some mountain bikes, and we've been doing it kind of as our little exercising kind of thing. Try to bike for an hour, hour and a half, and we really, really enjoy it. So when we were out in Utah, it was funny. Mason and I are sitting there like 2 days prior to going, and we're like, I wonder what the biking is like in Utah. We should look into it. And we start watching videos. We're like, oh, we'll convince the guys to go biking with us. They don't mountain bike, but we're like, oh, we'll convince them. And we had this plan where we were going to do this nice green loop trail on the top of a mesa. So it's not a lot of uphill, not a lot of downhill, beautiful views. So we sell them on this. We rent the bikes, and we didn't have a bike rack, and we didn't have a vehicle that a bike rack could fit on. So they were like, "Oh, we can just drop you off up the road," which left us with some blue trails, a lot of uphill, a lot of downhill,
Mm.
and I think we did 12 or 13 miles to get back to the bike shop. So I don't know if the guys were totally happy with us, but it was pretty fun. It was good. It was good. They were happy to be back in town with a beer after. So
All right.
for
So I
sure.
have, let me write down this. Okay. I got a story.
Mm,
So my wife and I we're on our second marriage. I have two boys. She had a boy, and we went down to Southern Virginia, and they have this thing called the Creeper Trail.
okay.
And but they also have this big, huge, wide. We'll call it 12 to 15 foot wide walking path slash biking path. So we were like, oh, well, we're gonna ride bikes from this town to this town and back, 28 miles in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
went 14 miles one way, stopped, we ate at a an all you can eat buffet thing with pizza and salad.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing you should be doing in between 14 miles of
Hey, you
biking.
just need
That
food.
that did not turn out well.
Oh
But
no.
then on the way back, we didn't even get a quarter of the way, and it was monsoon season. I have
Yeah.
never been rained on so hard, and I've been to the Philippines during the monsoons, and I have not been rained on that hard because as we were biking, my boots, with their Gore-Tex boots, filled up with water, and water was coming out over the top of my
Wow.
boots. Yeah.
That's rough.
That that was an experience.
I bet the family was very happy.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
All right.
terrible.
So the thing that I wrote down so I wouldn't forget was you guys travel a lot of places. YouTube hates shooting.
Mm.
Okay? They're not going to pay you for shooting videos. However, have you guys considered like a travel vlog?
So this is crazy. We have been talking about this because
Yes.
Nathan's been, he's been working on his YouTube a lot, and we have the name. It's
Ooh.
Side Quest Maxing. That's the plan. Side Quest Maxing because we're always side questing.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we have been discussing that this winter, just doing a little, hey, we're in this town, and this is what we're gonna do because that's last year we started side quest maxing as we called it, and we went to the Grand Canyon. We biked
Yeah.
around the Grand Canyon. We almost killed
Yeah.
Phil on that trip. And just we've been doing a lot of fun side quest, stuff that, not just going for the match, going and doing more fun stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a whole revenue source for you guys that would be easily tapped into with as much as you guys travel and do, especially as a couple, you know?
Yeah,
So, man, because I watch travel vlogging stuff all the time.
100%.
Vietnam, Russia, China,
Yep.
just all around to get an idea. I mean, Americans are freaking everywhere.
Yes, for
So,
sure. And a good YouTube channel. I mean, it's absolutely awesome. Mason and I, we were so sad like a month ago. Our one of our favorite channels, BKXC, he's a mountain biker, goes all over the place in mountain bikes, and he's just like he's not trying to break any world records or anything. He's just biking and showing cool places, cool trails, and he just quit YouTubing for he's doing like a DIY channel or something. We're like so sad because it's like a friend that you lose when someone quits their
right.
YouTube. So I was like, yeah, we've been talking about it. I think it would be cool. Just and no matter what, even if it doesn't take off, it's still you're kind of saving memories and
Oh,
stuff that we
sure.
might forget about later. So be
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. But I know I would subscribe. I would be your first subscriber.
Thank you.
So
Thank
you're
you. I'll tell you
welcome.
when it's up.
Okay, I will be all over that like stink on you know what. So I'm down with that. All right. So you mentioned Phil. I gotta
Yep.
ask you a question.
Yep.
I was there when you guys were doing the squad shoot off at the end of the match.
Yep.
And some of the comments I was like stunned. Some of the things people were saying. Did it ever get awkward at some point with some of the stuff that the guys, or was that just they had figured out where their limits were and they could say certain things?
I'm trying to remember specifically what
Okay. Well, then that's a no.
was
That's
it.
not a problem.
Yeah, no. What was
It
this
it
like?
was SIG comments from the other
Oh,
shooters.
okay. I mean, uh, not that I know of. I mean, he's always working, so he's got to be doing his job. But
Yeah, it's just some of the things the other competitors were saying. I was like,
yeah, I think
wow.
he takes it pretty good. I mean, he's used to it, and I don't think anyone would say it to him meanly to his face. I would think that they're just trying to poke him.
I,
Um,
and that's what I figured, but I was like, man, I've poked some people, but I was like, even for my level of liking to poke people, I was like, ooh, that is borderline over the line.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was feeling awkward for Phil. I'm like,
really hungry. Ooh. Yeah, no, I don't think I never saw him get mad at anyone, so I'm not
okay,
totally sure, but I think
good
he's
for him.
okay.
He's got some thick skin then.
I think you got to in that
Oh
job.
yeah, exactly. I think some of that comes with the job, so
Mm.
it's
That's
just how it is.
he
But
always says this is one of my favorite things. He says like, when they post on YouTube or something like that, you don't read the comments cuz like, you wouldn't like frag a room and then go look and see what happened. You just leave. You don't look.
I might revel in what the aftermath looks like. So I wouldn't say that necessarily.
Oh, it's
I
funny.
can be petty like that at times myself.
Yeah.
So you mentioned when before we went live and started
Mm,
recording that you guys traveled to get out of the cold weather and remember what life is really like.
mm,
And you talked about Extreme Euro and Puerto Rico,
mm.
but what about the well, poop? I'm trying to remember the name of the Pan American Intercontinental Handgun Championship in Aruba. Are you guys
I am
making that?
planning to go to that. Yes. We are going to go our big match. We have a very big year this year. We're going to do coming up, we've got the Pan Am Extreme in Florida, the Puerto Rico in Puerto Rico, and we're going to go to Argentina actually and shoot the Argentina Open, which I'm super stoked about. I think that's in March, and we're going to go to the European Handgun Championship as well as the Pan
Extreme.
American Intercontinental
Oh,
Handgun
yeah,
Championship.
yeah.
That's a
That
long
long
title.
name. It is a
Yeah.
super. That's why I made sure to say it all.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
that's freaking
that is
long.
the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Go do Hungary, go do Aruba. Aruba is pretty easy flight wise, I think. So didn't
Yeah,
look
that
too
won't.
far.
Yeah, when I was reading through it, it said 4 hours from Miami. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like flying from New Hampshire to Vegas.
Yeah.
Probably less actually, but I guess you would
Probably.
have to fly to Miami and then Miami to
Mm.
Aruba. So see, just more stuff for the travel vlog.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Holy crap! I'm getting myself addicted to a YouTube channel that doesn't exist.
Just visualizing it.
Right? Yeah. Why all of the international travel for matches?
Mainly, I think one, it's always a preparation for World Shoot. Generally, this World Shoot didn't necessarily reflect it, but most international matches are quite a bit harder than the matches we have in the United States. Like, generally, it is a tougher shooting challenge, hit factors are lower. So, it's always good to go practice how they actually shoot, compete against the competitors that aren't in the United States, as well as I think like make yourself uncomfortable. Like you see a lot of people struggle with the act of traveling abroad and their flight gets canceled and it becomes this panic attack dealing with the time change. People really freak out about that, and I think it's one of those things that you do more and more and you make yourself just deal with it. And okay, we had this happen, we had a delay, all right, what do we do next? Okay, we get ourselves on the sleep schedule, what do we do next? Just practicing, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, I think is really helpful to then competing overseas more and doing well.
How much of an advantage do you think it is that you guys do it as a couple where you have each other to work through stuff?
I think it's definitely an advantage for sure. I would say probably it's a you know Mason shooting is obviously very, it's helpful for me to have him and him to have me. Planning wise, Mason probably makes out on the makes out better where I'm the big planner. So if something goes wrong, all right, I'm gonna clicky clack and fix it. So I think it's one of those things. We can lean on each other and use each other's strengths and help each other's weaknesses in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking shooting. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think trip wise in general, it's 1,000% because if something does happen, you have
Yeah.
two people that can noodle their way through it. And if you need to handle multiple things, you have two people to handle multiple things, you know?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. It always cracks me up too. The day before any international trip, I get a call from every single one of the guys that travels with us. Like, and it's like clockwork. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like the day before we left for World Shoot, I think I fielded 4 calls, and it was like, I'm talking to one, I'm trying to get stuff ready, like I'm printing paperwork and stuff. I'm talking to one, and then 20 minutes into that conversation, the next one calls, and then I got to call that one back, and then I'm talking to this one, getting the next one. I'm like how many husbands do I have to manage here?
Right. I was
And then
going to say, you're like the team wife here.
apparently, and it always cracks me up. They're like, "Oh, I've got my permits. I have this. I have that. I'm just checking. I'm not forgetting anything." I'm like, "I don't think you are, but okay."
So, okay. But that brings up another point. Before the Thailand World Shoot, and maybe it's just because I got into shooting, I guess, right after you, because 2018 was my first year.
Yep.
Um, and maybe it was just me not knowing, but it didn't seem like I didn't hear a whole lot about World Shoot stuff.
Mm,
But then it just seemed to kind of explode
yeah.
in the early 2020s, where it seems like it's way more popular. And again, maybe it's just my perspective, but I was talking to Becky Yackley at the time, and she's the only one I knew of that really had done much international travel. And she was putting out blogs about, planning for it and stuff you need to do. But now I feel like there's a lot more experienced international travelers that there's a much better knowledge base there. Am I
Y-
am
Yeah,
I
I know.
kind of right?
I would say so. I think that prior, I think it was such a weird. Um, my dog might bark. I think it was a weird qualification cycle because for the Thailand match, because everyone was trying to qualify for 2020, and then COVID happened. It pushed everything off. So all of a sudden, it was kind of just people all of a sudden are going to Thailand, and it's 2022. You didn't hear about the qualification process, or who made it, who whatever. So all of a sudden, people that maybe hadn't been in the sport very long are like, wow, this is a thing. I only knew about it because Mason was going. And so I tried to qualify, but at the time, there wasn't enough people shooting production optics to qualify. And I just got lucky later on. Morgan got to go, and we created a team. So it worked out that way. But I think that when everyone saw Thailand, they were like, "Oh my god, how do I get in on this? Like, this is amazing." Um, and I think there was a lot of excitement for that until South Africa was South Africa, and people got nervous with the danger and stuff. I think Italy will be very, very, very big. I think a
Yeah,
lot of people are going to want to go to Italy.
I agree. Yeah, that's a known commodity, and people
Oh yeah,
love to travel to Italy anyway. So, yeah, people are going to want to piggyback on that in a heartbeat.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially you get to go to Italy. Maybe you bring the family. You
Yeah.
get to do a shooting trip. I mean, that's amazing.
Have you been to Italy before?
I have not. No, I'm very excited to go. I think we're gonna try to do a match next year. We've been meaning to go, but just not in the cards this year.
I got to go on Uncle Sam's dime. It's a nice place.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to Rome, Naples, so more
Okay.
southern, but
Mm,
Corsica, Sardinia, that
yeah.
whole area down there. So
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful place. Food is ridiculously
That's
good.
I can imagine.
Well,
Everyone that
but
has been has told me how amazing it is. Just because I'm not like an American Italian food person. Like, I mean, I like pizza, I like pasta. Who doesn't?
right.
But from what I hear over there, it's just absolute insanity. And I love Greek food, so it's got to be, fresh ingredients. Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
your bread and pastas, but it's better.
I haven't been to Greece, but I've been to Israel, I've been to Italy, I've been to France, Corsica, Sardinia, Spain. Um, and I will just say Mediterranean food in general, spectacular, but the bread is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh,
I'm stoked. And it's funny because when you go overseas and you find something that you just like I remember when I was in Greece, the guys hated it because I wanted to go to the same breakfast spot every time because they
I'm
had
that
this like
way.
Greek yogurt that was so good. And then they had it like drizzled with honey that was so good. And then it was like all fresh fruit and nuts and granola and whatever.
Mm,
And it was just like, yeah, I could make a yogurt bowl here with honey and fruit and whatever, but it's not the same as there. Their honey
no.
is amazing. Their Greek yogurt is amazing. I mean, over there it's just yogurt, but it's so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot do plain Greek yogurt over here.
Yeah.
That will make me vomit.
Yeah.
But adding stuff in, man, I can only imagine fresh g- Greek yogurt
Mm.
with fresh honey, fresh fruit, fresh nut. Yeah, I'm not coming
Just
back.
to die for. Like
Yeah,
every day, I'm like, yep, I'll have that.
I'm going to be an illegal alien invader in Greece. I just
Yeah,
won't
in
come back.
Greece, 1000%.
Oh yeah, yeah, you guys are going to love the food there. It is spectacular.
Mm,
Man, that is a mountainous, rocky country, though. Holy
yeah,
cow! So
yeah.
that'll
I'm
be.
I'm pretty excited to go there. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if you can hear my dog's going crazy.
It sounds like you
Yeah,
got tangled in something and panicked.
yeah. Nope, that's the nails running. She's an Amazon driver.
Oh,
Typical. Got to
so
defend the
where
household.
where I was actually going with all that is how much time do you guys spend planning for all of these matches? Because that's not easy. You probably your passports you probably don't have to renew, but still you've got to get all the different licenses and things you need to travel to all the different countries.
It does take some time. I would say I'm pretty good about just making a checklist and getting it done. So once I have, the directions of how I need to do it, whether it be on the websites or whatever, like they make it so much easier when you're going to say, like the European Handgun Championship, or if you're going to one of the extreme matches, they make it very easy for you to, here's your list. There's 10 things you need to, do. Click, 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 run through it. You submitted, you're set to go versus if you just try it, you're like, okay, like we're going to Argentina. If I were to try to go to Argentina without help, it would be I don't know if we'd ever get all the paperwork squared away
Oh
it's
wow.
just, websites in a different language. It's, oh, here are the dates of the match, but the contact info doesn't work or whatever. It's one of those things. Like I'm thankful Mason's got his buddy Gaston, and that's why we're going, is to go train with him for a few days and then shoot this match, train a couple more days and go see the country. But without him kind of taking care of the paperwork on the background, I don't think we would. I'm sure we could figure it out how to get there, but it would not be easy.
Okay. Yeah, though yeah. That's probably the one thing that would s- maybe stop my desire to
Mm,
go to some places. Not
yeah,
not not the travel part, but the shooting part just because like I know when I had oh my gosh, why can't I think of her name? Uh Linda Trumbull on here.
yeah,
Linda Turnbull on here.
yeah.
I actually knew someone named Trumbull, so I just mixed their names up. Uh, she talked about how her and Max ended up with PCCs in Europe that became someone else's property because they got confiscated in
Really?
travel back to the US. So
Wow.
that would always be my concern, like at what point is someone going to say you're not allowed to have these here and take my guns and
Yeah.
then I'd not be happy.
The Canadians were really worried about that with South Africa because they're bringing their guns and South Africa, if they seize their guns and they can't get them back into the country, they can't get more guns. So given
Right.
the
Ooh.
situation was so screwy there, where they were, taking possession temporarily with guns, they were very, very nervous about that. Like us, shooting the SIGs, it's like, okay, I've got like 25 more of those in the safe, so it's not that big of a deal. Like it would suck a little bit, but
Right.
it's not a huge deal. But I can just imagine if you have two $10,000 open guns, that would be a little
Yeah.
dicey.
That
A
would
little
be.
dicey.
Do you hear of anybody not getting their guns back from them?
I did
I
not.
I didn't
No.
either.
I thought George Jones had some more problems where him and a couple other people were struggling to get out of the country. Like they made
Right.
them come back and do something with the guns. But I think everyone got them back.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, but
Yeah.
so I figured I'd ask. So which of these matches is the Argentinian one then the most difficult to plan for?
It's I don't know because we've kind of just handed it over to Gaston and
Oh, so I'm going to
Mason's
take that as a
been
yes.
yeah, and honestly Mason's been taking lead on that. Like we just kind of, did the flight thing together and then it was like, okay, Mason said, what gun are you going to shoot? And I said, here, take this one. And he wrote down the serial number and sent it to Gaston. So thankfully, I think it's going to be easy. But I guess we'll find out, when we go to fly. But yeah, I would say like Puerto Rico's super easy. I think Hungary and stuff will be easy, just given it is generally easier when IPSC runs things. So
And I feel like Europe is still easier. You just have to be, I guess, like the Max Linda issue was a certain country that they traveled back through was the problem.
that's the issue. Yeah, you have to every
Yeah.
country you're going through, you need a permit for. Except we France is actually like pretty easy. They
Oh.
when we came back from because whenever we would fly to Czech, we would go through France, and we kind of try to avoid doing layovers in other countries just because it can be kind of crappy. But France, they don't really care about the permit situation. I think it's like one of your maybe your 4457 or something is your permit, something like that. I don't know, but they're totally fine with it. So France is the country to go through. It's just, of course, then you're flying Air France, which is it can be a treat. it can be
Oh.
it can
Well, I've
be
never flown with them, so
they don't necessarily want the guns on their plane. They can be a little
mm,
difficult in that way.
a little
But
persnickety, huh?
yeah, and I think Charles de Gaulle Airport is like the number one for lost and stolen luggage. So that's the other scary part.
Okay.
But
AirPods.
yeah,
Everywhere.
exactly. Yes. Yes.
Wow. Or air tags, not AirPods. Air tags,
Yeah.
I guess, is what they're called.
Anything with a tracker.
Exactly. How long is your flight? I just had a guy who relocated from Richmond, Virginia to the south of Brazil, and it was like 24 hours of travel. So, how long is your travel from New
I don't
Hampshire to
I don't
Argentina?
think it's that bad. I think we go to Atlanta and then I think it's 10 or 12 hours because we're going to Buenos Aires. Um, let's see here. I can tell you. It says 9 hours and 45 minutes from Atlanta to
Oh, okay.
Buenos Aires, plus a 3 hour for us to go Boston to Atlanta. So, not the worst travel day.
No, not bad. That's really not that bad.
Yeah.
And it's broken up, the 3 hours, you'll be off the plane walking around.
Yeah. Get some
9 hours is
real
a long
food.
time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 100%.
So what does the future of competition look like for Kayleen?
Um, Going to be competing a lot this year, so training a lot. I have some new stuff coming up, but I can't talk about yet. So that'll be exciting. Some sponsorship stuff
Okay.
this year, which will be good. But yeah, so staying busy, training a lot. I'm doing a little more teaching, stuff like that at the SIG Academy, which is fun. But yeah, just staying at it, keeping busy.
Okay, let's look a little further, more long term.
Mm,
You see yourself at the next World Shoot.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so 4 years, you see yourself there, and you think it'll be production optics again.
I think so. My plan is to qualify for optics and production optics. That's my hope. That way, I kind of have a chance at two teams. But I think production optics suits my skill set more.
So if you had to choose between optics and production optics, you think you'd go with production optics?
Yeah, for sure. At this point, I mean, I don't know like what I'd be shooting in 4 years, depending on guns and stuff. It'd be maybe I'll have fallen in love with limited optics by then. I don't know.
Fair enough. It's fewer, mag changes if they
Yeah,
make
true,
if
true.
they make changes to the two divisions. So
Yeah.
that's for sure. Well, was there that those are all the questions that I had. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about or you meant to say earlier and didn't?
Um, no, I don't think so. I feel like we covered a lot of topics today.
We did.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. It's been long overdue.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
It has been fun. It's been a great conversation. So we'll have to do it again. Um, and I hope you guys start the vlog this year sometime. I'll be
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
My hope is Puerto Rico should be the first one we actually do some videoing and stuff on. Do some vlogging there. Um, I don't think there's any point in doing Florida because that one's going to be a quick one. But maybe Puerto Rico and try.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Sounds
one will
good.
probably it'll. We'll see
Definitely let me
how the
know.
first episode is. Yeah.
Okay. It's always, you always learn as you go.
100%.
So, all right. Well, thanks again, Kay. I appreciate it.
Thank you.